Hello, it's me, JGB. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey. Be aware of what you share online. So, some of you are probably wondering, why in the world would I dare air my personal and private experiences on the internet, recording them? I'm not just talking about it, I'm recording it and making it available online for anyone to see, and not only for anyone to see, but it's there forever. I can't take this back. So you're absolutely right to question why I would do something like this. And it's certainly not something that I recommend anyone should do without considering what the consequences might be. I'm somebody who wants to teach people how to upload their lives online and tell their stories, so it's very important that I use this segment to point out that there are ways of doing this. It's very important that you consider these certain things, okay? I think when you are putting your private life in a public space, you absolutely have to provide context, and it has to have meaning, and it needs to have a purpose, okay? A means to an end. Do not just blurt out things about yourself or your life. Don't talk on end, don't go on tangents, don't like free flow this stuff into the internet. You all have seen examples of this so many times, I'm sure you have, where people just blurt out anything and everything under the sun. That's not how you do it. You have to be super, super careful. You have to carefully calculate and craft what it is that you're putting online. When you're telling a story, you really got to consider all this stuff. Present your facts properly, right? So I want you to keep in mind as well, you can only speak from your own perspective. You can only tell your story from your side. There will always be other people involved in the story. And that's another really important part when you're documenting your life and you're telling your story. There's going to be other people involved, and those people might not want to have their stories told online. They might not want to air their private lives in public spaces. Go figure, right? So careful attention is required here. I have to be honest, the reason why I've been sitting on this project and not doing this for so long is because I was afraid of what other people might think. I was afraid that the other people involved in my story would be really upset with me. I was afraid that they wouldn't understand why I was doing this, and they wouldn't support my deep desire to put myself out there and to do exactly what I'm doing, to tell my story and to share and connect with the world. I've waited a very long time to be able to do this, and I'm doing it now because I've realized that I've got to do what's right for me. I have learned the hard way that, honestly, I've lived for other people. That's just not the way to go. So, I'm doing this for me, but at the same time, I totally respect everybody whom I come into contact with and who are a part of these stories, and I think it's really important to be very careful how you tell your story. I think there's another point here that's really important, and that is that you cannot control what's going to happen when you put stuff out there. You have no way of controlling that, and I think a lot of people forget that. You know, they think, well, I'm being very careful about what I'm saying and this and that. It can be misconstrued so easily. And I think when you're doing this stuff, if you're being a personal brand and you're putting yourself online, I think what you really need to do is become your own PR person. Like, consider all the things, all the consequences that could possibly come into play if you do this. Just make it a habit of thinking of that stuff before you air anything online, okay? It's really imperative that you think this stuff through. So for me, I'm documenting making JGB and I'm being super careful about everything that I say, and I'm trying to be super respectful of everybody all along the way. But I'm doing this because I genuinely, truly feel like this is my calling. This is who I am. I am an open book. I am somebody who has spent most of my life on my own, and I have just such a deep, strong desire to put myself out there and to connect with anybody who's been through similar things that I have or who are on the same journey. And having been through tons of media training and having worked with people who have online lives, I feel prepared and I feel like I'm made for this. So I am doing this. And that, my friends, is why I'm telling the story of making JGB. And I thank you for watching and for tuning in.